What is this case? I'm I am dumbfounded about this case with Christopher Wolfenbarger because we are 3 days in now. Day one was weird. Day two, when the mom took the stand, went absolutely crazy. And now day three, the mom on cross-examination did really poorly. Why she didn't look for her daughter? Well, she couldn't get her husband to drive up there and look for her. But at the same time, they had been up there months before looking for her, but they didn't find her, so they didn't look for her. Oh, by the way, I signed a deal with Netflix, but I jumped out of that deal because I didn't want to give them sole rights to my story. What? And a woman who helped cover up 5 murders, talking about her ex-husband, well, not ex-husband, her husband, because she didn't get a divorce, but talking about him like everything was hunky-dory, that, hey, some people just needs a little unaliving. And of course I help him clean. Do you know how blood ruins your carpets? What? I really can't understand how this case ever made it past the initial detective because nothing makes sense. There's no timeline that adds up if you try and add it up. Everyone who is not a police officer is a felon. And we have no evidence linking Christopher to the disappearance of his wife. What we do know is Melissa went to prison. That's roughly the only fixed point I have so far. I know about this phone call she had with her mom, but after listening to the mom, I'm not sure her mom talked to her at Thanksgiving because the mom also said that she would come by when the mom wasn't home and leave photograph. And one time she left a note. One time. But she also claims they were constantly in contact, but they only talked 4 times a year. I'm going out on a limb here, and it might absolutely not be true, and I might be all over the place. But I think this case is a part of some media push. And to me, it seems kind of like a DA office trying to buy some goodwill because they might not have done too well. Because there's absolutely nothing in this case. We then had the daughter who would be 2.5 years, 3 years old at the time Melissa disappeared. She was going to come testify about that day where she remembers all the pictures in the house disappearing. Okay. That proves nothing, but let's hear it. She takes the stand and tells us she didn't know Melissa was her mom until 2003 when they went to bury the empty casket. But she remembers around that time her dad, Chris, who she found out was her dad because she thought her grandparents were her parents, that he was her dad. And in that house behind that door, there was a picture of her and her brother and Melissa. And her grandma, Ma, took that picture down. And the DA tried to make that sound like it proved something. What? It proves nothing. Maybe she was thinking the kids don't need to know about this yet. I'm going to save it till they're older, they can understand. Oh, and by the way, when they went to the funeral with the empty casket, the grandma said those people over there, stay away from them. They're bad people. About the Melissa's mom and dad. Well, they are bad people because the mom helped clean up and hide 5 bodies. But again, the state wants this to sound like it's something bad that implies that Christopher was the one taking Melissa's life. Wouldn't you, if you had a granddaughter you were taking care of, and her grandparents on the other side was just implicated in 5 murders, wouldn't you say these people are bad people, that you have to watch out for them? I would. We also had Dixon, her boyfriend, take the stand. And I'm sorry, ladies, I don't understand American women, because this large tub of a man with no teeth apparently was slinging it at the Waffle House. They even had romantic get-togethers on the roof of a Waffle House. I know ladies like flowers, go into Taco Bell and stuff like that. What do I know? I'm single. But I never thought that the spot to hook up, not with just one of the waitresses, no, 2 of the waitresses, not at the same time, but you have to take them to the roof of the Waffle House. I've heard about the expression, don't shit where you eat, but don't bang there either. It's really, and this guy has multiple prior convictions. He did a 10-year stint for bank robbery. He wasn't a suspect in this case. He has multiple assault cases in his past. We haven't heard what Christopher has on his rap sheet, but why aren't we looking at this guy? No, nothing there, nothing to look at. We just look at Christopher. And he had some of the worst attitude I've seen, just until we saw the former lead detective, Mr. Calhoun, who, if any cop I've ever seen tried to imply BS on the stand, this was this guy. You took hair samples, right? Yes, they didn't match anything. Well, you can't say that because actually there was hair, it didn't match anything. Well, technically, there was no match. Well, it could have matched with something else but it didn't match. Well, someone could have grown out their hair. He also tried to say that Christopher didn't participate in giving these hair samples because he never asked him. He just went to a judge and say, "Hey, judge, I need some hair samples." Okay, I'll sign an order that makes him do it. That's not. You didn't give him the chance to cooperate. You just went there and put down a piece of paper and said, "Give me your hair samples." And you're now trying to make it sound like he didn't want to help you out. If this is how you run Fulton County, I'm afraid that if I'm going to go to Knoxville again, and I was planning on flying into Atlanta, I'm not going to stop for any cops. I'm leaving the state as fast as possible because this is amateur hour. Unless they bring in someone today who said, "Well, I was standing right next to him, seeing her filleting the dead body." I can't see how they have a case. All of it is hearsay. All of it is, well, I didn't like him, so he must have done it. All of it is, well, we looked at him and, well, it's an easy pick. This case is getting weirder by the day. You must be here today at 9:30 to help me get through this, because my mind